What's up guys, I'm Randomfrankp. Today we're going to be checking out another gaming keyboard. This one comes in at under $100 and has some awesome RGB lighting effects inside. And quick spoiler, some of the best LEDs in terms of color and brightness I've seen. Meet the Patriot Viper V760. Taking a look at it, the keyboard doesn't take an aggressive risk in terms of appearance, and I'm quite okay with that. Besides the Viper branding over the arrow keys and the Viper logo on the wrist rest, nothing here really strays away from a simple looking keyboard. However, I do like those subtle grooves in the construction on the side of the keyboard and that metal backplate, which gives the RGB lights a nice surface to glow on and really shine. In terms of other physical features, we have a USB pass-through included on the backside, which nowadays is pretty much a must-have. Nothing beats plugging in a mouse or a flash drive there to free up some extra room on your desktop. The cable does need to be plugged into two USB 3.0 slots, so you're not gaining any extra slot or anything, but having the ease of access right in front of you is great. They also include a magnetic wrist rest, which is made of a rubbery plastic and is very soft to the touch. It's funny because I've tried included wrist rests in the past that have been more irritating to use due to how it's made, so I'm a fan of its soft material and magnetic connectivity. Now let's go check out the keys themselves. They use a pretty normal font here, which I think was a nice choice. It's not like an ugly gamer or Tron looking font that a lot of keyboards make the mistake of using for their keys, but that's just my personal opinion. Underneath is the main attraction though. This is where we have the key switch and the LEDs embedded here. This keyboard uses Kailh brown switches, so not cherry, but the difference in feel from brown Kailh is very minimal. Since these brown switches are tactile, although are a little bit less bumpy if you will, they are overall pretty quiet. They do need 50 grams of actuation force, so they'll be only slightly heavier than the cherry equivalent. I've used cherry browns and Kailh switches before, and they're actually very similar and are very pleasing to type on. I'd say they're a nice hybrid between like a blue and a red. I'll do a sound test for you guys so you can hear how they sound. The keys, as you heard, in comparison to other switches out there, are very quiet, which is actually a big selling point for people who want to go with these brown switches. Kailh or cherry, they're both going to have the same kind of sound. So now let's check back underneath the keycap and take a look at the LEDs. They are housed in a plastic shell to help eliminate ESD, or electrostatic discharge, which greatly decreases the chance of a light burnout. Other added bonuses to the shell is that it helps spread the light from the LED, making its overall surface area appear to shine brighter. And yes, we do have some built-in RGB lighting effects, and what's really great is you don't even need software to change or customize those effects. Let's check this out real quick. Alright, so to give you a little overhead view here of how to change your lighting effects, everything is going to run through the function keys and the Viper function button here. This is how you change everything. Pressing down F1 is going to be your preset ones through F1 through F5. I will show you how to do this more in a minute, so just hold on for that. F6 is going to toggle the kind of spectrum lighting effects that you can cycle through. Pressing the up, down, left, or right button will also change the direction, as you can see. So that's pretty simple there. And then going through, you can press each function key more than once to give it a different effect. This is kind of like a pulse back and forth or something like that. Press it again, now it's like a certain spiral kind of thing going on. And that will be it for F6. F7 is going to kind of send these like pulses of colors around. But again, if you press F7 again, it'll then change it to a static color. So now we have red, and you can go through and change it all from green, yellow, orange, or yellow, blue, like a light blue, teal, pink, and a white, and then back to rainbow. Now F8 is going to send this kind of like a snake effect. Again, you can go through and change the colors for that if you want. If you press it again, it's going to do like a spiral kind of thing going around the keys. And then once you let it go through, it'll start to change its colors, as you can see during the little time lapse here of all the colors you could really have it go through. So ones that we saw, the red, green, yellow, blue, teal, pink, and white. Next up for F9, it's going to kind of like rain and shine different rainbow colors as well. And if you press it again, it's going to pulse colors that you press, which I always like. It's kind of like a breathing in and out when you type on it. And then you can go through and cycle and pick whatever color you want. Again, this is cool because you don't have to go into software and do this. It's all just controlled through the function keys for picking your color. F10 is going to breathe certain colors in and out. Pretty simple. We've seen that on a lot of keyboards. You can go through and just pick one color if you like. F11 is going to stay pretty much static in terms of color and then fade to different colors. Then F12 is going to let you go through and change kind of your keys like I have showed you earlier with F1 through 5. So you can see it's pulsing now, so you can go in and change either one. You press F1 and now you have really the freedom to create whatever kind of lighting effect or kind of layout you want. So if you want to pick, like, you know, certain keys that you use just for gaming or something, I don't know, you can go through and do that. And if you press each key more than once, you can go through, toggle, and pick a certain color that you want for that key to be. And you can do this for, like I said, F1 through 5 and make your own sort of layout. And then brightness is going to be function and your little brightness keys right here. And there's actually like probably 20 brightness modes here, and you can do it individually, which is probably not noticeable until it starts getting much dimmer. But if you hold it in, you can just see how dim it really gets and then how bright it gets. And that's pretty impressive. We never had this much adjustment manually, just changing the brightness of a keyboard. And I think at the brightest mode, it's actually pretty damn bright. Then I wanted to show you the white real quick, because this, in terms of color representation, is probably the best for giving you a pure white color. There is a very slight blue hint to it, but in terms of comparing it to other keyboards like Razer and Corsair, this probably has the best pure white that I've seen. Other things before we wrap this up real quick, the keyboard actually has 104 key rollover, and actually the board has 104 completely reprogrammable keys that you can make into whatever custom macros you want. Now, are you going to need 104 macros? No, not at all. But the point is, you can make any key whatever sort of function you want, which is really cool. People like MOBA or photo and video editors can definitely find that appealing, I think. Something cool I did want to tell you guys, like I did with the Roseville PC case recently, over on BattleNation.com, you can go and vote for the quest for the best, and they have giveaways each week where you can win the best components that are picked. This keyboard's up for the running right now, so if you're really digging this, you can go over there and vote to be entered to win one for free. That's always cool. Now, one extremely small thing I did want to mention, something that I would change about this keyboard is when the wrist rest isn't attached, there's this little tiny groove where the wrist rest locks in. I just wish that wasn't there. Someone like me, I think my OCD would just constantly be staring at that if I didn't have it attached. But again, it's only if you're not using that wrist rest, and this is just extremely minimal overall. Everything else I really liked. I think it's a really great keyboard. You get a lot of features and some of the best LED lights for those RGB lovers out there, all packed into this Viper V760 for $100. And with the holidays coming up, I did want to give you guys, extra peripheral videos and gear like this. So expect many more gaming videos like this coming up real soon. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm Randomfrankp. Have a good day.